I normally wake up 9 AM. From there, I go and have breakfast. So before eating my meal, I'll check my blood sugar. I want my blood sugar to range anywhere from 5 to 10. My blood sugar happened to be 4.6 this morning. Altogether, when you look at this meal, there's about 60 grams worth of carbohydrate. So I tend to have 2 insulins in the morning. One is for every time I eat, the other one is for every 12 hours. So I'll explain how my insulin works for when I eat. So I have to look at how many carbohydrates I eat. Then, depending on how many carbohydrates I eat, I divide it by 10. So for breakfast, I had 60 grams worth of carbohydrate. So I divided that by 10, which means that I'll have 6 units worth of insulin. So I found that going to the gym 3 or 4 times a week has been very effective for my blood sugars. I've been doing this for the last 10 years, and it means that I don't have to do so much insulin for my food and also throughout the rest of my day. When I get back home after the gym, I go straight into the shower, and then once I've finished out the shower, I then eat straight away because I am starving. So for lunch, I had 3 vegetable curries and 3 chapatis. After finishing from the gym, you can see that my blood sugar is 4.8. My carbohydrates worked out to be 80 grams worth of carbohydrates in this meal. So with my insulin, it's slightly different for lunchtime. As my blood sugar is 4.8 and I have exercised, I am going to minus 20 grams worth of carbohydrates away from my meal, just so that my blood sugar can stay stable, as I've done exercise which will cause it to go lower later on. So for this meal, I do 80 minus 20, which gives me 60 grams. Divide that by 10, which would then be 6 units. After eating my lunch, I just chill for a bit. So my chill time normally includes me just playing PlayStation, or me just watching something on TV or through the internet. So moving on to dinner, I had paneer and rice. So this is basically a cheese curry with brown rice. So my blood sugar for this meal is 6.2. The carbohydrates for this meal is 50 grams. So altogether for this meal, I did 50 divided by 10, which equals 5 units worth of insulin. Later on, I go down to meet up my friends to film our podcast. Just before the podcast, I have a little snack. So my blood sugar will happen to be 5.6. So this works out to be 20 grams worth of carbohydrates. So for my insulin, I then did 2 units worth of insulin. If you are interested in watching our podcast, it's called Everything in Between. So after finishing from the podcast, I go back home. So at bedtime, my blood sugar is 4.7. I have a 20 gram worth of snack before I go to bed, which I don't do insulin for. So this is just a short look at what a day in the life of a diabetic actually looks like. I just want to say a big thanks to everybody that watched. Please stay tuned for more videos regarding diabetes. Thank you and goodbye.